Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about ADHD and eating challenges. So I have collaborated over on my Instagram with an amazing ADHD nutritionist and dietitian. She is incredible at what she does. She also has ADHD, so she understands how hard it is to stick to healthy routines. You know, sometimes it's just like I don't have the motivation or the oomph to want to go and cook a nice like healthy dinner. When you're on medication for ADHD, it can really suppress your appetite, so you can end up kind of binging on the wrong things kind of at the end of the day, and then you feel bad about yourself, and it's just a guilty shame kind of cycle. So Nikki and I got together and created an Instagram illustration kind of infographic thing on my Instagram. So if you want to see the actual slides, go over to my Instagram, which is, I will put it here. And also you definitely need to follow Nikki too, because yeah, she is just amazing at what she does. All of the information comes from Nikki, and yeah, so yeah, I just think you guys need to go follow both of us on Instagram, because yeah. But first, if you could smash me a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I am going to be uploading so much more now. I feel so much more like Molly than I have in a very long time. A medication review will be coming up, but I do have another appointment very soon with my doctor. After that, I'm going to be telling you just how my transition to a higher dose of medication has gone, and you guys will be the first to know. Let's get on to the video. So this is me and Nikki right here in the corner. This is us. So we collaborated on a post, and I am going to be popping these kind of like slides that I created up on the video. So if you guys are interested in looking at them, you can, or you can go over to our Instagram. So Nikki is super passionate about helping other ADHDers, you know, build a better relationship with food and their bodies. So let's jump in and let's start by talking about some of the challenges we can face as ADHDers with eating, and let's talk about some of the reasons why. Poor self-regulation and poor self-awareness. We're less likely to feel hunger, and we're less likely to be able to identify when we're full. So we can either like just not eat at all, or we eat too much. So yeah, we can struggle with like poor self-regulation, poor self-awareness. So emotional dysregulation can make us kind of use food as a coping mechanism, but we go for foods with, you know, more sugar, more carbs. We use food to self-soothe, and it helps us feel kind of better in a way. I'm not sure why, but we talk about it later on in the video, so just stick around for that. So if you're like me and you're on a stimulant medication, for example Elvance, I'm on 70 milligrams of Elvance, and I know this for a fact that my appetite is so suppressed throughout the day. I am just not hungry. I just don't want to eat anything. The smell of food can make me like, bleh. I want to like be sick. I can't stand it, and sometimes I just plainly forget to eat. And you might be thinking like, how can you forget to eat? It's really easy when you get into this like mode of hyperfixation and you feel like I'm focused, you're doing something, and you're doing something that you enjoy, and you kind of just like, do I want to stick doing this and risk losing the focus, or go get a packet of crisps, or go get something to eat, go get a sandwich? So yeah, we struggle with kind of breaking the focus once we're in it, and that's something that a lot of ADHDers struggle with, like hyper focus. But not a lot of people understand that just because we have ADHD doesn't mean we can't focus. We have trouble maintaining focus on things that we just aren't interested in, and sometimes we can be as interested in this subject as anything and we still can't focus. So sometimes we just hyper focus, we just forget to eat because we don't want to break that focus. It's really hard to explain, but yeah. So not every ADHDer is impulsive, but I am very impulsive, and I know this for a fact, that sometimes when you're impulsive you feel like you just, you know, you have this urge to go grab some sugar, go grab something with more carbs in it, go grab an unhealthy snack, and you do it on impulse. It's like you want something for that immediate reward. It's not something that's going to be like beneficial, like protein. It won't fill you up long term, and then half an hour later you're hungry again, because it's just like, well, you only went and got like a chocolate bar. That isn't going to fill you up. If I make better nutrition kind of choices, the less guilty I will feel, and the like less likely I am to binge. Because if you start restricting food and stuff like that, that's when things get really, really crazy and messy. So we are going to speak about that, so I'll be quiet and I'll get on to the next one. So I know a lot of ADHDers, and let me just say, this is so true. You simply forget to go grocery shopping. You simply forget to go do the food shop. So you're kind of left with no choice but to eat a takeaway. And it could become a natural habit, because it's almost like, oh, you've only got to click order and it's there, and you don't have to do any preparing, you don't have to do any cleaning up after. It becomes like an easy option. And when you have ADHD, it's not that we're lazy, but sometimes we just want things done quick, and we don't want to have to like, we don't want to have to keep doing stuff that bores us, you know. Cleaning and chores, they are a chore. They are a chore. So if we can have a quick and easy kind of instant reward, we'll take that. And yeah, so sometimes we forget, and then we get into a habit of just takeout because it's easier. It just leads to convenience eating. So like, it's just convenient, isn't it, to just order a takeout. It's just easier and more convenient to do that. So yeah, you end up eating stuff you don't want to eat, and you will, I mean, I know it happens to me. I get into this kind of funk that makes me feel bad about my body, and I feel like, oh my god, I'm eating so unhealthy, I put weight on, blah 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 blah. You get into this cycle of like self-shame and resentment for yourself. You start kind of just, you don't like yourself, and it's a horrible cycle to get into. But you know, it's something that ADHDers, we are more likely to do. I'm not saying everyone does all of this. We are just more likely to, and it could be one of the reasons why you binge eat. So you could naturally go more towards kind of food if you need oral stimulation. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some facts about ADHD and eating challenges. So here we go, we're going to talk about some. People with ADHD, especially women, are at a higher risk of developing an eating disorder. This is because our impulsiveness combined with our poor self-regulation and perfectionism. Totally, I can see myself in so many of these, and I can understand myself better now, and that's why I wanted to share this amazing kind of post and collaboration with you guys, because I think it's so important to help other people, you know, self-validate. I want people to love themselves, love their body, and so does Nikki. So this is something that I didn't know, and again, I can definitely relate with, and I know a lot more people will be able to relate with it, so here we go. When you have ADHD, the normal signals for hunger are often dulled, and we wait until we're extremely hungry or can't ignore the hunger pains any longer to take action. Extreme hunger can make you feel impulsive and lead to less nourishing food choices or overeating in general. Again, I can totally relate to that, because I know, and like, I'm gonna let you into a secret. This happens to me when I need a wee. I'll wait to the last minute before I'm gonna wet myself, and I'm like, I better go, I better get up and go to the toilet. But I do it with food too. Like if I'm playing Sims, or if I'm doing something that I'm really enjoying doing, right, and I don't want to get up because I'm like, I don't want to go to the, like, I need to go to the toilet, but I can't be bothered, I don't want to get up, like, I just don't want to do it. I will wait till the last second before I'm gonna wee myself until I do it. And I do it with food too. I'm like, I can't be bothered to get up and go make a sandwich. No. Then I'm like extremely hungry, and then I'm just like, I can't take it any longer. Let me quickly go grab something quick. And then I'll come back and it'll be like, I don't know, packet of what's it's Doritos, something that isn't very nourishing, something that isn't a good food. There's no such thing as good and bad food, but in my mind there is. But like, yeah, it's not a great choice. There are better choices out there. But if you have ADHD and possibly any other disorder, like mental health disorders and mental health issues, you will be able to relate to this 100%. So the eating disorder that overlaps with ADHD the most is binge eating disorder. They go hand in hand, and I definitely have learned that it is to do with our impulsiveness. So yeah, I hope this video encourages you to, you know, make better nourishing food choices. Again, I'm not a dietitian, but Nikki is. So if you want a dietitian, she has some amazing courses going, and she you know, she's open for clients one-to-one. So I'm not sponsored, I'm not getting paid for this. I just generally encourage you to go and speak to someone if you feel like this is you. So you might be thinking, Molly, what is binge eating disorder? So let me just explain. So binge eating disorder is when you eat large quantities of food, often very quickly, to the point of discomfort. And you pass the point of fullness as well. You know you're full, you know you don't need to be eating anything more, but you continue eating. Often feeling a loss of control, feeling of shame, distress, and guilt. Because I know I do that a lot of the time, yeah. Many people with ADHD use food to satisfy their brain's need for stimulation when they're not even hungry. Something to think about, isn't it? Something to think about. So Nikki has given me all this information and she's made it really like simple for me, because I don't like reading long kind of doctors scientifical things that I just can't relate to, like, and I can't read. So yeah, I hope these are making sense. So binge eating is usually kind of caused by the restriction of food. So you're not eating enough, you're not allowing yourself to eat. And it usually happens when your body is at the point of starvation, like you're really hungry, you haven't given your body what it needs throughout the day. So your body's like, nah, I need some food now. Get in my belly, I need some food. I don't care what it is, grab it and eat it fast because I am hungry. That's usually how it starts. This is how binge eating starts. You restrict food, you don't allow your body kind of enough food throughout the day, and then it's like, damn, I'm hungry. And then, yeah, you just grab Watsits, grab Quavers, grab loads of chocolate, biscuits, and you just eat until your heart's content, and then you're like, I feel sick. It's just, yeah, you just kind of lose control, don't you? As many of you know, when you have ADHD, there's so many like emotional kind of dysregulation issues that go alongside ADHD that people just don't talk about. So that is a huge issue also. Like I say, we can use food, specifically like sugar food, that can make you feel like a little bit like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You can use food as a comfort. And it could become a habit. It could become your coping mechanism when you feel a bit down. Oh, let's grab some comfort food. And it can lead to a negative kind of relationship with food. So binge eating usually happens because your body's trying to make up for what you haven't given it throughout the day. It's like, oh, I'm hungry, so feed me. Your body just wants food. So that's how binge eating usually starts, because it's like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And then you're eating so much and you don't take notice of like your fullness, and then you're like, damn, I feel sick because you've eaten too much. So yeah, it's really easy to overeat things that are like super convenient. You know, if you have a grab bag edition of like, I don't know, Watsits, Quavers, Doritos, any of them, there's more things available if you go, you know, yeah, other brands are available. But yeah, if you get some like grab bag editions of like crisp chocolate biscuits, you're more likely to be like overeat with them because they're easier to overeat. But if you like cook something, you're only going to cook a certain amount and you're not going to keep going back and cooking it. So all the behaviours that lead up to like binge eating disorder, they can leave us feeling guilty, like shameful of ourselves. Our self-confidence goes down the toilet. We just basically start hating ourselves, and it can make us feel depressed, anxious, alone. We can start isolating ourselves away from people because we're embarrassed of our eating habits. And it can really restrict us in many, many ways, not only with food, but also with family, friends, people, because you're embarrassed of yourself, you're ashamed of yourself. And that's just not a cycle that anyone anywhere in the whole entire, like, no one needs to get into that type of cycle. I've been there, I've done it, and it's not a good place to be. So I want to encourage you guys to always seek help if you feel like you could be struggling, could be dealing with an eating disorder of any kind, could be binge eating, could be, you know, of the opposite end of the scale. So you need to always ask for help. Never be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. So something that Nikki definitely made really, really clear for me is, I'm going to read it because I think it's very important for everyone to know, because I know Nikki thinks she's very passionate about this statement, so I want to share it with you. Binge eating is not caused by a lack of willpower. It's often caused by restriction of food and emotional dysregulation. So you are strong, you do have willpower, you do have self-control, but when you have ADHD, you have so many different kind of challenges that just make more challenges when it comes to food, and you're less likely to be able to control yourself with binge eating, and it's nothing to be ashamed of because it's very difficult. So another tip that Nikki definitely made clear was, if you figure out how to eat more consistently throughout the day and, you know, pick better nourishing choices, you're less likely to binge eat at night, which is super, super important. So here are some tips on how to eat consistently throughout the day. Start by setting an alarm to check in with yourself every 2 to 3 hours. Ask yourself, have I eaten and drunk enough? Do I actually feel hungry? Will it be more than a few hours before I can have another break? If you answered yes to any of them, then go grab a snack. So therapy is a key treatment for any eating disorder. Combine a protein with a carb, for example, like nuts, fruit, peanut butter on toast, or yogurt with fruit. It's a longer lasting energy release. So I definitely recommend going over to mine and Nikki's Instagram. Our usernames will be here. Go follow us because we are going to be collaborating so much more in the future. And if you really enjoyed today's video, let me know down below. And I can definitely do more videos on binge eating because I've learned so much by Nikki. And yeah, so go follow her, guys. Go follow me, guys, on Instagram. And yeah, I hit 28k today, so I am so proud of my Instagram. I post super consistently. I create loads of infographic, like illustration slides that I make easy for us ADHDers to be able to access and read. So yeah, I love you all, guys. I'll see you very soon. Remember to like and subscribe to my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Get on my head. 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 Get on my head.